Today's video is to show you the skincare routine I use every other night that I'm not using a retinoid. I know what you're thinking. How can this be the ultimate nighttime anti-aging routine if it doesn't have a retinoid in it? I have a lot of people that comment on my Instagram, TikTok, and here on YouTube that they cannot use or do not want to use a retinoid. So for those people, or people like me who like to give your skin a bit of a break, I know the benefit of using a retinoid daily is immense, but for someone like me who has very sensitive rosacea prone skin, I also have combination skin and dehydrated skin for reference, giving my skin a break from a retinoid is actually one of my strategies to keep my skin barrier really intact. So using this routine on pretty much every other night that I'm not using a retinoid has really helped to maintain the balance and nourish my skin. I really do feel like I get amazing results from this routine in combination with regular retinoid use. So take with that what you will, and let's get into it. This is an evening routine. In the evening, I always start with a double cleanse, and that was a big game-changing experience for me. It's a little dog hair floating around here. Because when I realized that using a single cleanse wasn't actually effectively cleansing my skin, it was not getting rid of all the dirt, oil, makeup, sunscreen, debris, everything that accumulates on my face throughout the day, I wasn't really setting the tone for a great skincare routine to follow. So I implement a double cleanse because I like to remove all of those impurities and have a really clean base to start with, and especially with this skincare routine, as you'll see as we go along. My preference is generally to use an oil cleansing balm as the first step in my double cleanse. I love the texture, I love the way it feels, I love how they just melt into the skin. I've done loads of videos illustrating some of my favorite oil cleansing balms, but I wanted to shout out today this oil cleanser. So I have been trying different oil cleansers and some of them really irritate my eyes and I can't use them, but this one does not do that. It has a lot of great ingredients in it. They're calming, soothing, emulsifying. I find it's actually a lightweight oil. It doesn't feel really thick and oily. It's a really nice texture to use on the skin. This is by Medicube. They're a Korean skincare brand, and this is their red cleansing oil. It's around 186 mils for $40, and it has some really unique ingredients in it. It has tea tree leaf oil in it, which is really great for my acne combination skin, but as well as squalene, which is a great skin identical ingredient that's great for hydration in the skin, as well as antioxidants. But it does have a bit of fragrance for those of you who are sensitive to that. I have found no issue with the fragrance that's in this product. I apply a small amount and gently rub it into my skin to remove all of my makeup. I find it really great on especially light days of makeup. Usually and typically if I'm wearing a lot of makeup for an event or something like that, I would typically reach for an oil cleansing balm, as I do think they do a better job of really getting rid of that foundation, mascara, all that kind of stuff. However, most days that's not what I'm wearing, and this is perfect for everyday use. The size of this is 186 mils for $40. Next, I like to use a hydrating cleanser. Cleanser really is a personal choice and should be, chosen based on your skin type and skin issues. As you know, my skin is dehydrated, and with my rosacea and sensitivity, opting for hydrating cleansers is exactly the perfect balance of what I need for my skin. This is a brand called Omi, and this is a Canadian brand. I always love shouting out Canadian brands where I can. I've actually worked with this brand over on TikTok, and they sent me this cleanser as part of that collaboration. It's a beautiful, milky texture, hydrating for the skin and nourishing, called their Nutri B5 Milk Cleanser. And I don't know, something about milky textures and cleansers I just love to use for my skin. It's actually marketed as a single cleanser, so I think if you aren't one that likes double cleansing or using an oil cleansing balm or a micellar water or something like that first, this would be a great all-in-one cleanser for you. This is a good size at 200 mils for $29.99. Most of the prices I give you will be in Canadian dollars. Now you will see in my videos, sometimes I use my hydrating toner or essence immediately after cleansing, and sometimes I don't. I use it mid-step in my routine. Basically, the philosophy I have on how to layer skincare is to go from thinnest consistency to thickest consistency throughout the routine. But I also like to prioritize the things that I really want to get the most out of at the beginning of my skincare routine. The only exception is retinoids. Because I have very sensitive rosacea prone skin, I actually keep my retinoid right towards the end of my routine. It helps maintain my skin barrier much better. So if you mix up your toners, essences, serums all in that midsection of your routine in any which way or form, I think you're okay. So in this routine, I like to apply a hydrating essence next. And you may wonder, what is the difference between an essence or a toner? In some cases, there really isn't. So many toners have wonderful ingredients in them now, whereas historically they were quite astringent in nature, and essences are the same. They tend to be very watery, and this one is a favorite of mine. This is by Beauty of Joseon, a fantastic Korean skincare brand that I have yet to try anything I didn't like from them. So drop a comment below if you've tried something from them that you didn't like. I'm dying to hear about it. This is their Ginseng Essence Water. I haven't talked about this one in a while, but it is definitely one of my favorites. It contains 80% ginseng and also has niacinamide, which is a great ingredient for my skin barrier. It helps reduce redness and really calm and soothe the skin. Oh my goodness, my skin loves this. It's a watery texture, so I simply place it into the palm of my hand and gently pat it into my skin, and that's it. I tend to let my products sit about a minute or so on my skin before I go to the next step in my skincare routine. And when I'm using a routine with active ingredients, so vitamin C, retinoids, acids, I typically apply those products to dry skin. So depending where they sit in my routine, I will wait longer just to make sure my skin is dry. But for a routine like this one that's really focused on hydration and my secret anti-aging, well-aging skincare product, I like to apply it all to damp skin because I think it really helps bring the product into the deeper layers of the skin and help aid with that hydration. This one's 150 mils for $18. Next up, I've talked about this a lot in my videos in 2022. I would say this is the #1 thing that I introduced into my skincare routine this year that has changed my skin. And that's why I talk about it a lot. And that's why I'm doing this video, because I've mentioned it in other videos, but I haven't really truly explained how I use it in a skincare routine. And that is this product. This is NIOD's Kale. NIOD is a sister company to The Ordinary, kind of like the bougie or higher end sister to The Ordinary. The Ordinary, of course, is very well known for its single ingredients and affordable prices. NIOD, not so much. It's kind of the opposite of that. Their products are really packed with a lot of technology, not focused on a single ingredient, but rather the formulation of many ingredients to give a really fabulous benefit to the skin. And it's not cheap, which is precisely why I held off on buying this for a very long time, because I love using copper peptides in my skincare routine. The Kale in this product stands for copper amino isolate lipid. Now, I've recently done a video all about copper peptides. Go watch that one after this one. I'll link it at the end of this video if you haven't seen it. I illustrate a number of copper peptide serums and some that are much more inexpensive than this particular one. And I still use all those other products as well. But this is my favorite. And I hate that because it's so expensive. It's only 15 mils and it's $98 Canadian. So if this serum is in your budget, would love to hear your thoughts on it. But if it's out of your budget, there are alternatives, don't worry. Since this is expensive, I also worried that I would go through it quickly, but actually only using a pea-sized amount for my face. I'm too cheap to use it on my neck and chest, so I actually use my other more inexpensive copper peptide serums down my neck and across my chest. But if I win the lottery, I'll just bathe in this stuff. And using that small amount has actually made the product last quite a while. It's a gel, almost an oily-like texture that literally melts into the skin. It's so beautiful to apply, and I think how you may be deceived that you need to use a lot of this product, a little does go a long way because its slip on the skin is beautiful and it just sinks in beautifully to the skin. All of the benefits of copper peptides and why I use them in my skincare routine is in the other video I did. But suffice it to say, the well-aging benefits of this, the hydrating properties, the difference I see in my skin from using this product every other night was almost immediate for me. So this is a product I'm hooked on at the moment, and until I find something that knocks it out of its place, this is steadfast in my well-aging routine. Next up is a viral skincare product that people tend to either love or hate. I love it. This is the COSRX Advanced 96 Snail Mucin Power Essence. I got it right. You know how hard it is to say the names of some of these products and remember them in your head? Like, let's just call it Snail Mucin, which is what it is. It has a bit of a slimy texture, as you can see here. So if you're not a fan of that, you're not gonna like this product. But I like it. And it's been viral because of that on pretty much every platform. So if you're not into the slimy texture, just skip this step altogether. But for those of you who are into it and the benefits that it can give to your skin, Snail Mucin has some great antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties, as well as being very hydrating. So it really works well for my skin. I know many of you are concerned about how the snail mucin is collected and are the snails harmed in the process. From what I've read about COSRX, actually, they believe and know that the snails produce the best mucin when they're extremely relaxed and well taken care of. So I think they have some pampered snails over there, and how they actually collect the mucin is they let the snails crawl around on mesh nets, and then once the snails go back to their pampered house, they collect the mucin off the nets. So I do think they're very well taken care of and it's extracted in an ethical way. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, more in the comments below. Next is a moisturizer, and one of my favorites is this one from Drunk Elephant. This is their Protini Polypeptide Moisturizing Cream. It's a great moisturizer that I use regardless of the season. It's lightweight, but it's also kind of rich. So it's not too thick, not too thin, not a gel moisturizer. It's kind of one of those just right. It's a protein moisturizer that contains signal peptides, growth factors, amino acids, and a pygmy water lily extract that really give nice nourishment and hydration to the skin. The signal peptides in the formulation really work to go into the skin to activate various processes that'll help reduce the look of your fine lines and wrinkles. The only downside is the cost. For 50 mils, it's $89.99, but I've recently talked a lot about Stratia's new Interface Moisturizer. It's a much more affordable dupe, if you want to call that, for this product. So I apply it to my face, neck, and chest, and next, it's time to slug. If you're new to slugging or have never heard of it before, where have you been? Just kidding. I was you not that long ago. Slugging tends to be a viral trend that hits all the socials every fall and winter, and it's because people really want to amp up the hydration in their skincare routine, myself included. And slugging is a great way to lock in moisture and hydration into your skin. So the premise behind slugging is to do a skincare routine, and then as the very last step, use a very occlusive barrier to lock in everything that you've applied to your face. And that's what I do with this routine, and how I do it is with this. CeraVe sent me over their baby healing ointment. This is a great formulation because in addition to the petrolatum base that it is, that forms that occlusive layer, it also has ceramides, vitamin E, and hyaluronic acid in the formulation. So there's kind of a lot in here that really assists in that healing and barrier repair, as well as the occlusivity of the product. The trick with slugging for me is to apply a thin layer. If you apply, like you see on viral TikToks, this goopy mass all over your face and try to go to sleep, it's going to be all over your bed sheets, your pillow, in your mouth, and your hair. Don't do it. So I apply a thin amount to my face. I can actually use this around my eyes, but most brands don't recommend slugging around the eyes because people who are prone to milia could have a milia flare-up with using an occlusive product like this. I do not slug my skin if I'm using active ingredients, so I never slug on days that I use vitamin C, acids, retinoids, any of that type of thing in a routine. I would not slug with because you don't want to lock that into the skin. At least for me, I'd wake up with a disaster. But with very hydrating routines, and especially this routine, slugging at the end just locks in all the goodness I just put on my face. I honestly wake up in the morning with the most soft, supple feeling skin. It's astonishing. The size of this is 85 grams and it's $13.49 here in Canada. The only thing I really alter with this routine is this last step. Sometimes I will not slug my skin and instead use a face oil on top. Recently did a video all about face oils that I'll link for you here as well to watch. Or I also may include an eye cream at times. I'm a believer that an eye cream, if it actually does something great for around the eyes and is formulated specifically to go around the eyes, is a great addition to a skincare routine, but it's not always necessary. If you use your other products and can bring them up and around your eyes and they don't cause irritation, you can do that too. So those are the only things that I really alternate in and out of this routine. But otherwise, this is pretty much my truly ultimate anti-aging, well-aging nighttime skincare routine that's not a retinoid. I welcome your thoughts and commentary in the comments section below, and I hope you have a fabulous day.